Sonic's Greenhouse Adventure Season 5, Chapter 15, The Next Morning. When it was morning, Tom and Maddie's eyes opened to see Sonic, still fast asleep, keeping Maddie in place as he clung onto her.
Okay, Tom. Should we wake him up or wait for him to wake up on his own?
Maddie whispered in amusement.
Let him sleep. He had a rough night.
Tom whispered seriously as he gently petted Movie Sonic's quills. Movie Silver's point of view.
I woke up to the smell of breakfast and looked over at Shadow. He was still out like a light. However, I knew I had to wake him up. Hey, Shadow, it's time to wake up, I said as I shook his shoulder.
Oh, good morning, Silver.
Shadow said as he sat up and stretched. Good morning, Shadow. Now come on, I smell breakfast cooking, I said happily, and that immediately caused Shadow to get out of bed and put on his air shoes quickly.
Racy there, Silver.
Shadow said enthusiastically. You're so on, I said right before we dashed off towards the dining hall. When we arrived there, Shadow won. Then we noticed our parents and Sonic weren't there. Hey guys, where are the others? I asked in concern as we all walked up to the table.
I'm not sure about Tom and Maddie, but Sonic did have a rough night last night, so he's probably sleeping in.
Marina replied seriously.
Wait, where's Sonica?
Shadow asked seriously. That gave me an idea. Don't worry, bro. Watch this, I said reassuringly as I activated my psychokinesis. I then used it to open the door of the room she was in, lifted her up, and brought her out to me. Good morning, Annika, I said as I held her close.
Good morning, Silver. That was fun.
Annika said happily.
Wow, now that was awesome.
Shadow said excitedly. Thanks, Shadow, I said happily as I began to feed her.
Then suddenly the doorbell rang.
I'll get it.
Movie Shadow said as he got up and headed to the front door. When he opened the door, he saw it was Boom Sonic.
Oh, good morning, Boom Sonic. What brings you here?
Movie Shadow asked curiously.
I just came to see how your first night here would end. Whoa! What happened to you? You look awful.
Boom Sonic replied as he noticed how sleep-deprived Movie Shadow looked.
It's a long story. But don't worry, Boom Eggman had nothing to do with it. Come on in. We're still waiting for your movie counterpart to wake up.
Movie Shadow said tiredly as he moved aside to allow Boom Sonic to come in. Tom's point of view.
As we continued to pet Sonic's quills and ears, we could hear him purring.
Aw, he's too cute for words when he's like this.
Maddie whispered. As she said that, I noticed Sonic's smile grow brighter and the ear closest to Maddie twitched. Okay, buddy, I know you're awake, I said teasingly as I shook his shoulder. In response, he just snuggled closer to Maddie, moaning in protest. Well then, I guess we'll just have to tickle you awake, I said, and we both began to tickle him. Immediately, Sonic bursted out laughing as he tried to get away.
Oh, please, Tom. Oh, mercy.
Sonic cried as he failed to escape us.
Alright, I think he's awake now.
Maddie said as she stopped and I followed suit. Well, good morning, Sonic, I said enthusiastically.
Morning, guys. Sorry about that. It was just so cozy.
Sonic said happily, and man was it a relief to see him smile again after what happened last night. Then I remembered something he said yesterday. He kept calling us Mom and Dad without the nicknames. But before I could ask him about that, he sniffed the air.
Ooh, whatever was made for breakfast smells amazing. I'll meet you guys in the dining hall. I left my shoes in the other room.
Sonic said and dashed off. So I turned to Maddie, who had a concerned look on her face. Well, at least he's back to his happy self again, I said to attempt to lighten the mood. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Tom, did you see how scared he was when he saw that we woke up last night? It was like he was still asleep and was afraid of us.
Maddie said as tears formed in her eyes, so I immediately hugged her. Yeah, I saw it too. But we better get to the dining hall or Sonic will be worried why we're taking so long, I said as we ended the hug. Maddie nodded and we rushed towards the dining hall.
Boom Sonic's point of view.
As Orbot placed a serving of breakfast in front of me, I finally saw Movie Sonic and his parents come into the dining hall.
Good morning, guys.
Movie Sonic said as they sat down. Morning, Movie Me. So I hate to dampen the mood, but What happened last night? I asked as gently as I could. However, Movie Sonic's ears immediately drooped as he looked down.
Oh yeah, last night. I had a horrible nightmare.
Movie Sonic replied sadly and proceeded to tell me what the nightmare was. Oh my gosh, that's awful! And yet, you seem more well-rested than Movie Shadow, I said as I processed this information.
That's because I literally threw up after he told us about it last night.
Movie Shadow said seriously.
I'm so grateful you were fully rested, Sonic. Especially after everything that happened yesterday.
Marina said as she kissed his cheek.
Thanks, Marina, and wow. Was it really 24 hours ago when the Echidna tribe ambushed us?
Movie Sonic said in shock.
I'm afraid so.
Marina said sheepishly as she gave him a comforting side hug.
Modern Sonic's point of view.
As they were talking, I snuck away to a different room. Then I used my communicator to contact Tails.
Hey, Sonic, what's up?
Tails asked happily once he answered. Hi, buddy. I know this is gonna sound strange, but can you see if there's a Sonic world that has an Eggman machine called the Roboticizer? I asked nervously. I had to know for sure. I just hoped my hunch was wrong, because I wouldn't know how to tell Movie Sonic about this.
Yes, there is. It's known as the South AM universe. Why do you ask anyway?
Tails replied seriously. My voice caught in my throat before I could reply.
Sonic? Are you okay? Are you still there?
Tails asked, becoming more concerned by the second. Thankfully, that shook me out of it. Sorry, Tails. I was just hoping this hunch of mine was wrong. You see, Movie Sonic had a horrible nightmare about that world. I said as I regulated my breathing.
Really? But how is that possible when even we didn't know about it until now?
Tails asked in shock. While Movie Me tends to have visions, the last one he had was the other night, and what it foreshadowed was horrifying. It's a miracle we made it out in one piece, and that just happened yesterday, I said seriously.
Oh, and what was it exactly?
Tails asked seriously. Well, the Echidna tribe is still very much alive, and ambushed us the night before, but the nightmare that foreshadowed it was horrible. It took his mother to wake him up from it, and it took her several minutes to do so. I explained shakily, for that memory scarred me for life.
Oh my gosh! I'm so glad to hear you're all okay.
Tails said in relief. Yeah, but how do I break this news to them? I mean, Movie Shadow threw up after Movie Me told him about it last night, I said in a panic.
Calm down, Sonic. Just do it as gently as you can, okay?
Tails said reassuringly. Okay, thanks, Tails, I said and hung up. Then I headed back to the dining hall.
Maddie's point of view.
As we continued eating, I noticed that Modern Sonic disappeared. I was about to point that out when I saw him re-enter the room. I noticed the sad, fearful look on his face. Hey, Modern, is something wrong? I asked gently as he sat down.
Yes, it's not easy to tell you about this, but I contacted Martin Tails and described Movie Sonic's nightmare to him, and
He trailed off as I saw tears begin to fall down his face.
Modern me?
Sonic asked shakily.
it's a real dimension called the South AM universe.
Modern Sonic finally said, and I felt my heart stop. Me and Tom immediately turned to Sonic. He fell backwards out of his chair and just laid there, arms sprawled out, and his irises and pupils shrunk to a microscopic size. It looked like he stopped breathing and was staring into the void. Sonic! I cried as I ran over to him with the others not too far behind me.
Sonic, can you hear me?
Marina cried shakily.
Come on, Sonic, please snap out of it.
Shadow cried in desperate panic.
Movie Sonic's point of view.
The minute I processed this information, I lost all control of my body. It was like I was paralyzed. What made it worse was the sensation I felt back when those horrible cuffs were on me. Accompanied it. Only 1,000 times worse. Now my ears were ringing, and my vision was so blurry that the brightness of the room hurt my head. I thought I was going to pass out. But then I started sobbing uncontrollably. I just couldn't bear the thought of losing anyone I loved like that again. Even though it turned out Longclaw didn't die that day, I didn't know that during my 10-year isolation. So I still felt lost, and it was the worst feeling I ever felt.
Everyone then noticed that Sonic's chaos energy was manifesting intensely and backed off.
Sonic, please calm down. Everything's going to be okay.
Tom cried as tears fell from his own eyes. He hated seeing Sonic like this. It made his heart shatter. Then Sonic started screaming as he turned into his dark Sonic form. Marina's point of view.
Sonic? I uttered out loud in shock. This both confused and scared me. So far, this only happened when one of us was in immediate danger. So why was it happening now?
Guys? What's happening to him?
Boom Sonic asked shakily. That is his dark Sonic form, I said seriously as we all backed away from Sonic out of fear because this form was now truly unpredictable.
Wait, this isn't how it's triggered, right? So what do we do?
Boom Sonic asked in a panic.
Movie Sonic's point of view.
At that moment, I felt like hurting someone really bad, so I flew at top speed out of Boom Eggman's base and towards the jungle. Once there, I started to go on a rampage on it.
Boom Shadow's point of view.
I heard the most bizarre ruckus outside of my cave and decided to investigate. I couldn't believe what I saw. A dark hedgehog with incredible power, flying in the air, wrecking the jungle in full rage. What in the world? Who are you? I demanded, ready for a fight if need be. He didn't say anything. He just turned toward me and raised his hand in my direction. That's when I noticed his shoes. I knew those shoes anywhere. Sonic? I asked in shock. He still didn't reply. He just charged up a ball of dark lightning ready to strike me. Once he threw it, I dodged it in a panic. Sonic, what's wrong with you? Why won't you say anything? I asked, surprisingly concerned.
Marina's point of view.
Once I saw Sonic flying away, I panicked. Sonic, no! Please come back! I cried as he left. I'm going after him, I said seriously and dashed after him. After searching for him for several minutes, I finally found him. He was attacking Boom Shadow. Boom Shadow, run! I got this. I begged of him as I stood between them.
Are you crazy?
Boom Shadow said in shocked confusion. No, trust me, I can calm him down. Now get out of here, I said as I turned to Sonic. When I did, he stared me down with cold, unfeeling eyes. Sonic, don't you recognize me? Please stop. I love you so much. We all do. Please come back to me. I cried as I stepped closer to him cautiously.
Unknown to Marina, Movie Sonic was becoming delusional. Instead of seeing Marina standing in front of him, he saw one of the robots that were chasing his parents in his nightmare. So, using his dark form's abilities, he lifted a large boulder above his head.
Sonic? What are you doing?
Marina asked in shock. She was stunned her voice and words weren't enough to get through to him. When she saw the boulder being thrown and coming right at her, she just barely dodged it. But she wouldn't give up that easily. So she charged up a spin dash and launched herself at him, tackling him to the ground, and pinned him down.
Listen, Sonic, I don't care how dangerous, powerful, and scary you are in this form. I won't stop until you're back to normal. I love you so much. I refuse to lose you like this.
Marina screamed as he struggled to get her off of him. Suddenly, he screamed as his power launched her off of him and was knocked into a large rock, hard. Movie Shadow's point of view.
At that very moment, I knew something was terribly wrong, so I teleported to wherever Marina was. That's when I saw Marina unconscious. Marina? I cried as I ran over to her and pulled her into my lap. Come on, Marina. Wake up, please, I said quietly as I tried to wake her up. That's when I noticed a large cut on her forehead, so I quickly healed it. Finally, she woke up. She looked up at something fearfully, shaking like a leaf, as she stood up and started backing away before dashing off. When I looked up, I saw Dark Sonic looking at me in fear. He was scared. He finally floated down and turned back to normal. I immediately went to hug him, but he backed away quickly before I could. Sonic? I asked in concern.
Stay away from me! I'm too dangerous. This is all my fault. I hurt her. She's so afraid of me.
Sonic screamed as he sobbed uncontrollably. Before he could say anything, he ran off towards the ocean. I saw my Boom counterpart standing behind me, and a plan formed in my mind. Boom Shadow, can you do me a favor and go find Marina and find out why she ran off? I have to find Sonic and calm him down. I asked very seriously. He nodded and headed off in the same direction Marina dashed off in.